So people, I am finally at the actual 4K reviews of these Marvel films that came out on August 13th this week. And I am going to be starting with Avengers Endgame just because everybody has already reviewed it. I am probably the last one, so I'm just going to get it over with. Everybody got it early, and yeah, that's just something I can't really control right now. But if you like this review, you can subscribe right down here. I do this kind of stuff all the time, and I've actually already reviewed Avengers Endgame when it was out in theaters. You can check out that review right up here. And so that means that I am going to be rolling right into the video quality, starting off with the Blu-ray, just because that's where I always start off. This is crystal clear and razor sharp. You can tell that this was shot digitally on these IMAX cameras. And I just want to say that no IMAX footage here. You know, it's just something that Disney does. This was shot all in IMAX and no IMAX footage here. But regardless, there is so much detail. It is insane. You know, you get all of the detail on all of the clothing. The pores on the faces are expertly recreated. And when you get into the end battle scene, that lasts pretty much half an hour. The backgrounds are just so lush and so vibrant that it is amazing. Black levels are also expertly recreated here. Depth of field is great also. I wouldn't say that this is reference quality material. I do feel like, you know, I feel like if they would have gone with a more colorful color palette throughout the entire film, this would be a 10 out of 10, but they didn't. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, though. This is great stuff. And when you pop in that 4K disc, you will get a 2K digital intermediate, so that is actually upscaled from 2K to 4K. You know, that is specifically just because of the fact that it would have cost even more money to render all of the special effects in 4K for all of the CGI that is here. And Disney doesn't want to do that, so that is why this is in 2K. Don't worry about it. This looks amazing. I wouldn't say that detail is so much better here, but it is substantially better along with the clarity. The clarity is bumped up also. And when you get into that depth of field gets pushed also. And I do feel like it is a nice bump up from that Blu-ray, what we would expect. But the big bump up here is the HDR. Now, what I said is the color palette here is a bit somber. This movie does have a more somber tone. You might notice the HDR better as a whole in Infinity War. But as far as in-game, I feel like the moments here are so much better that feature the HDR than in Infinity War, just because of the fact that, you know, you have that scene where Captain Marvel saves Iron Man and Nebula, and she comes towards the ship in the bright light, and that is blinding. You would need sunglasses for that one. And when you get into that end battle scene also, just the color palette and the vibrant colors, it is half an hour of just glorious eye candy that you will not believe. It is really excellent, and it bumps this transfer up a lot, and it makes this my preferred way of viewing this film. And it's not reference quality material. I don't think it's really meant to be. That's not the focus here. But I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And as far as the audio here, If you watch this on Blu-ray, you will get a DTS HD 7.1 mix that is damn good. I was actually impressed with this. You know, it has some hefty bass response, and that is something that a lot of Marvel films, specifically lately, have been lacking, and I noticed it right off the bat. And along with that, a lot of the subtleties of this film just allow for some ambiance and some nuance to the sound design that you really I appreciated, as in the opening scene with Hawkeye and his family, and you just hear birds chirping and just outside noises as he is teaching his daughter how to shoot an arrow, and that is very well recreated here. The score of this movie is excellent. It's one of the best Marvel scores, to me anyway. And that is expertly recreated here. Surrounds are in heavy use. I really did like this one. I did have to turn it up about 2 notches, 2 decibels, but that's not a lot. And for that, I am actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. And when you get into the Dolby Atmos, that is available on the 4K disc, you know what? You will get the kind of bump up that you would expect in Dolby Atmos mix. This is a wider and more expansive sounding mix that literally fills up your entire room. It is really, really expertly done, and I feel like, again, they've kind of really hit it out of the park here. I did have to turn it up about 2 decibels, but that isn't saying much. And bass response here, again, is the star of the show. It rocked my house, and I loved it for it. Speaker separation is top notch, and I did get a decent amount of height speaker work. I feel like this is a really good, very well represented audio mix that I'm going to give a 9 out of 10 to. And when you get into the digital copy here, as it goes, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download this on iTunes and on Vudu. And if you do choose to go with Vudu, you actually get the Dolby Vision version with Dolby Atmos. And getting into special features here, we do get some on the actual 4K disc. And as a matter of fact, we get the same on the standard Blu-ray disc, not the special feature Blu-ray disc, just the actual one with the movie on it. And that is an audio commentary with the Russo brothers. They are excellent audio commentaries. I suggest you guys listen to all of the ones that they have. Very informative if you want to learn about film, and this is no different. And then there is a 3-minute intro. And as far as the special features on the separate special feature disc, each is about 5 minutes long. There are about 7 featurettes, and it is pretty standard. You have one that focuses on Robert Downey Jr., you have one that focuses on the women of the film, and you have basically one that focuses on the plot and the things that happen and the decisions they made to really mix things up this time around. It is pretty standard, but it's good, and you do get quite a bit of deleted scenes actually as well. And for that, I am going to give this a 5 out of 10. And getting into my last looks at Avengers Endgame. Look, this movie is exactly what I wanted it to be. It just a real send-off for the characters that we aren't going to see that much of anymore. And a real just kick-ass action film that really did resolve all the issues of the past, 3 phases? And I definitely did feel like we got that here. And just some excellent, just crowd moments. Some real moments that made me feel like I was being served by the filmmakers here. And it is just an amazing feat and a true epic that this movie really created. And if you didn't watch my movie review for Avengers Endgame, I gave it a 9 out of 10. And whether you watch this on Blu-ray or 4K, you get the same score of a 33 out of 40. Look, pick this up, people. You will not be disappointed, you know? They didn't drop the ball as far as audio goes, and this is just a really great film to have in your collection. So coming up next on the channel, I do have to get into all of the re-releases in 4K that Marvel has put out this week, and I am starting where it all began with Iron Man. I cannot wait to talk about that one. I have so much to say. Check it out. Make sure you subscribe and check that video out because I have a lot to tell you guys about that one. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't even have to say it because you know it. And I will see all of you next time.